What's up, guys? This video, I'm not sure what I'm gonna call it yet. Pretty much, I've been watching quite a few videos, and I like to see other people's opinions on things. Sometimes I learn stuff. Sometimes, a lot of times, people are just bullheaded and stupid. But anyway, this is pretty much gonna be about the rumor that 1911s ain't reliable. Um, so that's bull. I've been shooting 1911s for I don't know, 15 years, 17 years. Um, I haven't owned a great deal of 1911s myself. I've only owned about three. But my father has owned since that I have known him. He's owned more, but at least 20 something. And I've had plenty of friends that have owned plenty of 1911s themselves. I've had quite a bit of experience in these guns, those 20. My dad doesn't really sell a lot of guns. He might trade them eventually or something like that, but he normally owns them for years, even if he does trade them. But I've gotten quite a bit of hands-on experience. Plus, I've done a lot of research on the internet, and you got your hardcore 1911 fans that say it's the most ultimate pistol in the world. You got, a lot of those are old schoolers too, and then you got your Glock fanboys, which I like Glock pistols. They don't really suit me too much, but I respect that they're one of the best pistols made. They're reliable. I like the thumb safety on my gun. That's the main reason why I don't own one right now. I plan on eventually owning one just to have it because it's a good gun. It's reliable for the most part. But here's the misconception. You don't really hear about HKs being ultimate, SIGs being ultimate, Berettas being ultimate. You hear 1911 sucks, but all them guys that say 1911 sucks, I guarantee they are very highly Glock fanboys. And I think that a part of that is because when the Glock started coming out, there was a pretty tense rivalry. I mean, the 1911 guys hated the polymer, aka plastic guns, and so they kind of spun this thing to throw off the 1911. It's stupid. For us gun guys, us gun enthusiasts. If you don't like it, don't use it. Don't talk crap about a gun just because you don't like it. But anyway, the 1911. I've had quite a bit of experience with these guns, every different calibers to the non-traditional like llamas and the wide stack paras and their kind of concept coats, Rock Islands, Charles Daly's. I mean, I can't even think of all of them. Firestorms. I've had them from cheap to fairly expensive. I haven't shot any, Ed Browns or Les Bears or anything like that, but to the $1,000 range, like Springfield loadeds and TRPs and all that stuff on my buddies. He has a nice TRP. But anyway, I really haven't seen hardly any malfunctions, to be honest. And I'm sure there's plenty out there, just like there's plenty of Glock malfunctions. You hear about them if you look enough. But the thing is, with Glocks, there's only one manufacturer that makes them. Now, there is 1911 manufacturers that tend to have a higher malfunction rate. And I'm not going to mention any names. You can look them up. There's plenty of people talking about them and everything like that. But I've got a couple 1911s that I've heard enough about them on the YouTube community from people that I trust that I'm not gonna buy one. But anyway, I've I've shot, I don't even know how many. I've shot probably at least 25 and been around these guns long enough to where I've gotten trust in the design. I mean, the gun, I think in World War II or what, I don't know the exact time. It's been a long time since I've looked at the numbers, but there was like I think 400 some thousand purchased, and The 1911, I know there was some used around World War One-ish and everything like that, but I'm just gonna say from World War II to whenever they adopted the Beretta, probably in the 80s. But you know, straight up through Vietnam, Korea, all that stuff. The 1911, those were the same 1911s used through all those wars. I don't know how many years, probably like 50 years. And our army would not have used a pistol, would not have branched off from the revolver if the gun wasn't reliable. Although, I mean, you never really hear this gun. You hear of plenty of guns missing up in Vietnam. The guns were pretty rough in Vietnam because by then they were shot out. I mean, my dad has told me stories about whenever they was going for the or issued guns or whatever, they would try to shake the guns to pick the less rattly ones. Uh, and you know, that's one reason why we went to. We only purchased 1911s one time, and I mean there was plenty of different companies, you know, like Remington. God, I can't think right now. I know there was Colt. Uh, I cannot think, but there was 4 or 5 companies that made them. Yeah, I mean, yeah. And one of the great things about the 1911 is I think I like over all the other designs of pistols. It's extremely simple to change out all the parts in this gun, and you can watch. It's simple enough to where you can watch a video on YouTube. Anybody can that's a little mechanically inclined. You know, where you could change a battery in your car. You could pretty much figure out with a couple punches, just the right punches. You could probably improvise some stuff. But anyway, all you need is a punch, and you can take out anything and change out anything on this gun. This gun has been safety checked. That's why that's over there for the safety sallies. And it's small enough where anybody can do it. The only thing that I think that all 1911s, I think because it's all steel and it's all, you know, built to last, do need a 500 round break-in period. I just think that makes everything smoother and move a lot better. Um, but sometimes on the cheaper 1911s or the more affordable ones, the feed ramps do need to be polished a little bit. It seems like they run a little smoother. But you can do anything to this gun, and it's simple to change out. I mean, the only thing that can really go wrong on this gun, to where it needs to be fixed, that you can't do yourself, is the frame. Something to do with the frame, you know, maybe the slide's totally jacked or the rails are totally jacked up. That's pretty much the main thing. And you hear all these people talk about like it's just an inferior design. No gun points as well as the 45, and even these experts will tell you in the heat of a moment you're not really going to have the chance to pinpoint aim or use your sights to aim, so you're going to have to rely on a point shooting variant, you know, not exactly shooting from the hip, but looking down using your instincts and looking down the sight of the gun, you know, just quickly, because it's going to happen close up. 90% of, I think 90% of engagements or something like that's within 7 yards, 21 feet. So, and rarely it's a long shootout. Uh, but there's a reason why this gun's been in service for 100 years, just like the double action revolver. They just work and they continue to work. Machining processes now are even better, to where they're kind of allowing, you know, with CNC machines, it's kind of allowing guns to be put out to where they don't need to be gunsmithed like they did back in the 40s, you know, or whatever. You know, it's better to have like an Les Baer or Ed Brown or something like that. But another thing that I think people also get wrong when they try to go with 1911 reliability is they get these ultra comp models, or they change it out to be as tight as they want. Now, there's a reason why the AK and the Glock and all those guns are some of the best guns in the world, because they're simple and they're made to handle anything. They got looser tolerances, so instead of just being able to take ball ammo, they're meant to kind of slop anything in there. So when you get these ultra tight 1911s, they have to be almost perfect, flawless, because competition, people confuse mil spec competition. People like to think mil spec is the ultimate. You can go above mil spec. Mil spec is what we give our people that has a kind of a standard for lasting, but the military kind of looks at you as a number. You know, if they lose you, it sucks, but you're not gonna be the deciding factor. So an overall rate of success is kind of what they look at. You can go above mil spec, like nickel boron, for like people say mil spec's the greatest. Instead of going with a standard AR bolt, a nickel boron stays more. You know, everybody knows that's better as long as you get a good one. But same way, people, you can go above and beyond mil spec. Now then they think that that's competition. Now competition is built for accuracy, speed, all that stuff. Those competition guns, the real, you know, race guns and all that stuff, they can be used this way and they're good, they're guns, but if a gun misfires in the competition, it's not the end of the world. Whereas if your gun malfunctions on you when someone's shooting at you, it very well could be. You know, you can lighten your frame enough to where it'll slightly raise the malfunction rate. I mean, you might have 1 in 100,000 rounds versus 1 in 200,000 rounds, just because you needed that extra speed. You know, if you don't want a competition, you want your gun to be reliable, but you can chuck it as a loss instead of something bigger. And look at the big picture of that. I'm not saying that anything competition makes your gun less reliable, but you can overdo it. Some of the things you put in your gun, just because it's competition, may not mean more reliable. That's what I'm trying to say. But you know, like Rock Island, they're $400 to $500 guns, and you can look them up on the internet. There's a lot of people own those guns, especially people that's into guns but don't have a lot of money, which a lot of us are that like that. They really don't have much bad talk about them. I mean, whenever I bought my Rock Island, I searched for a long time and I couldn't find hardly anything function wise. Like I seen maybe one thing about a safety falling off, and even in the YouTube videos, there might be some blemishes on the gun, but the reliability of it's still great. But another thing, the main problem with 1911s, and this is a problem, kind of, the magazines. You have to buy good magazines, and you know, like Chip McCormick's are good. I'm gonna go Wilson Combat. I think some of the best magazines I've had are Act Mags, Novax. They're all pretty much the same thing, made underneath different names for different companies. But those mags work extremely well. But thanks for watching, guys. Hope y'all got something out of this. Thanks.